Best of 5, ladies and gentlemen, in our quarter-final to start off the day. All the remaining games here are going to be best of 5. Semi-final, 1-0 versus Chaemiko, who's going to make his way into the grand final, excuse me. We shall find out, starting on Northern Isles. Fast expansion is of course the meta in this matchup, has been for a long time. In the past also the undeads used to do that quite a bit with Crypt Lord, but the Crypt Lord nowadays not seeming so good anymore. Quite a few undeads are going for DK Fast Expo, and that seems to be what we're seeing right here. Fast expansion for 1-0 at the easy camp, and Fast Expo for Chaemiko at the hard camp. He got level 3 already. It's a great level 3 creep route for the AM if he is not harassed, which he wasn't, with the small orange, then the green, and then the big expansion creep. 1-0 trying to find some damage, sends in the ghouls, would love to slaughter some peasants over here at the expo. Oh, we have a lot of footmen to protect, and the level 2 water elementals, which are so strong at this stage in the game. Some peasants, though, should certainly be falling. There's not really a way around that. Alright, so let's keep count. One peasant goes down. So far only. And we can see the damage from the water elements really stacking up on these ghouls. Also the DK losing a lot of HP. Oh boy. Has to TP out. The coil just a little bit too late. And wow, some 6 saves right there by 1-0. Tries to take out the footy with the ghouls. He was lumber walking with the ghouls. So he selected these two, put them on lumber, and then they count as workers. In that case, they don't TP back. Nice little play. There was a solid defense. 1-0 accidentally walking into the creeps. That, along with the imperfect movement, perhaps 1-0 not his very best shape right now being displayed. DK, of course, after the TP was very, very hurt, but Ritual Dagger gonna help healing him up a bit, at least. No tech yet. We do have a Narrow Tower, and it's oftentimes the difficulty for undead in this early game when fast expanding. Holding on with only ghouls against level 3 Archmage and footies can be quite tough. Far forward Ziggurat here as well, something we've been seeing more and more, especially against Night Elf. Against Human, it's a little bit more difficult or more dangerous to go for, because the footies with normal damage can take it out pretty easily, unlike the Night Elf with archers. Oh, Chaemiko commits the big mana potion. That's gonna be a lot of water elementals here he can summon over and over. That Ziggurat certainly falling. And 1-0 having a tough time holding on. He's very close to level 3. But that level 3 also isn't gonna be the end of his troubles, I believe. Trying to hold on with the Narrow Tower as best he can, pulling back the injured ghouls. The graveyard is still not finished. That building takes a long time to finish, but the DK now is level 3 and targeting the Archmage right away. Water Elemental's really strong right now, but the Archmage still pretty low HP. He has 5 bonus strength, actually. Oh my god! And he goes down! Oh no, Chaemiko, he thought he was going to be able to outrun the DK with the aura. And he's too greedy to use the TP. Oh, that is heartbreaking. This was a really good early game for Chaemiko so far. He didn't lose too much at the expo. He got level 3 fast. He took out quite a few ghouls. The DK was low HP. He forced the TP out of him. He destroyed his Ziggurat. He started teching. And then losing the Archmage is very painful. There was an expensive revive from the tavern. Also tons of experience to the DK. He's 3.5 all of a sudden. And getting a fast level 4 in the DK can be very valuable to get that level 2 aura quick, which makes everything stronger. Second Crypt, Acropolis, this is all looking pretty standard. Tech is very comparable. I think 1-0 is slightly ahead with attack, but not by a huge amount. Ideally, when playing Fast Expo versus Fast Expo, the undead would like to be way faster with attack, kill some peasants in the early game, slow down the human, and then go for a really powerful tier 3 timing attack with Frenzy Ghouls. At that time, the MK is always going to be low level, not having level 2 clap, and at that moment, like 8 or so Frenzy Ghouls are really hard for the human to deal with. Alright, Chaemiko going for a bit of an aggressive play here. Staffing on to his footman. He does have defend. And now trying to do some economic damage. Also trying to slow down the tier 3. This is a very smart timing by Chaemiko. He knows the tier 3 of the Undead is going to be pretty tough to deal with, so he wants to slow that down as much as he can by attacking the main base where the tech would be happening. It's really cool. 1-0 ideally here, doesn't want to get distracted too much. Should, I think, start the tech now. And if he loses the Acolytes, remake them from the Expo. But I guess his lumber is also a bit hurt. Some Acolytes are going down. But also a lot of ghouls, a lot of footies, I mean, died. And that's a fast level 4 DK. We don't even have a second hero out yet. And DK already level 4, which means level 5 is very, very realistic this game. And with that, hero kill becomes quite scary. We see Chaemiko, thanks to this attack, is now ahead in the tech. Going tier 3 already and going Griffin Aviaries.
A player's forces are under attack.
Which I'm kind of surprised to see. Normally Human has a really strong, well-rounded army in the super late game. That doesn't seem to have a clear counter. With Breakers, Knights, Casters, Gyros, and maybe even Mortar teams. Going for Griffins can be strong. If you can make it up to 70-80 supply Griffins with high upgrades, that's pretty good. But it does get hard countered by Fiends and Banshees.
A player's forces are under attack.
Chaemiko playing a very harass-heavy game. And this might be an indication also to 1-0 that something fishy is going on. And that there's a late game tech happening behind this. The way Chaemiko is playing this, just going for the economy, harassing over and over, and not showing any units, it does very clearly look like he's either going tanks or griffins. One of the two. Nice staff play by Chaemiko. And he's killing quite a few acolytes over here. There was like 4 acolytes total or something. But that might mean the MK is going to die again. Oh yeah, with Coil Nova he certainly will. This MK might turn out to be underleveled. And again, more experience to the DK. So 1-0 needs to figure out what's going on, whether it's tanks or griffins. As I said, it basically has to be one of the two. And in case of griffins, go for banshees. And in case of tanks, go for wagons. .6 on the DK already. Ooh boy. That was very quick. He's gonna get level 5 guaranteed this game. And here we go again. Archmage into the main, being annoying over and over. This harass play comes at a price, because you're not creeping in the meantime. Yeah, you kill a couple of ghouls or acolytes here and there. Sure. But that does not come close, even in the slightest, to the experience gain that the Undead is receiving. DK gonna staff back. The Lich solo creeping in the meantime. 1-0 going for destroyers. 1-0 not yet going for the proper tech, I gotta say. As mentioned, against the Griffins, you definitely want to go into Banshees. Anti-Magic Shell, of course, really good against Griffins, but also Curse, super good. He did scout it now. We saw some Skellies there in the main, checking out what's going on. Chaemiko, if you go Mass Griffins, you also have to go, at some point, Breakers. Because of how strong Banshees are. You want to be able to reflect the Curse. 1-0 here, looking for a very quick timing. He wants to try to fight, ideally, right now. Fiends have a very long power spike. Is that the right way to put it? They have a very early power spike, I should say. Fiends are already strong when you only have 3 of them plus statues. Already then you have a fight-ready army. All the way up to 70 supply, Fiends are good. Always a good army. One of the reasons why they're such a staple in this matchup. Whether early game, late game, Fiends are always good. With Griffins, it's a different story. Griffins have to be very high supply and also highly upgraded to be effective. We have 7 Griffins, I believe, right now, which is not bad. But the upgrades, I don't believe, are very high yet. 1-0. Very high level now. He does have the web, and in we go. Lich being surrounded by 1,000,000 units right now, getting targeted heavily, but he does have an invul potion, so he can survive this pretty easily. And here we see the problems with Griffins. They get webbed, they get focused, and they die quickly. With the light armor, the Fiends do 200% damage against the Griffins. No wonder there's finding so many kills here. Oh my goodness. He might just be able to win the game right here, right now. DK's out of mana, but look at the experience gain. Lich, he just got level 3 a second ago. Now he's level 4. Getting so much experience here from these Griffins, and suddenly nothing is left for Chaemiko. He wasn't ready yet. And his heroes were too low level compared to the undead because he harassed so much. Chaemiko with a very unusual strategic choice here. Playing these mass Griffins. It's normally a style you can only play if you're really far ahead. And here it didn't work out on map 1. MK goes down. 1-0 suffering some losses, but the DK gets level 6. Oh my goodness. Doesn't even have a third hero. Just the Lich and the Death Knight causing a ruckus over here. One last desperate attempt of bringing the militia in here, trying to clean up. But these Griffins are just so easily destroyed. GG is called, and 1-0 claims the 1-0. And it's an interesting strategic choice for Chaemiko on map number 1. Griffins, because of how good Fiends are, especially with web, and also of course with piercing damage, they rarely work against undead. As I said, they only work if you're really far ahead, normally. Or if you're playing against, like, A-bombs or something. It's weird. Chaemiko was in an absolutely fine position after the early game. His tech was on par with 1-2-0. He could have just gone tier 3 as he did, but go caster, mortar, knights, gyros. That's a solid army. And then creep the map. And then try to win the late game with your hero levels. In the ultra late game, 80 versus 80 supply, it often comes down to hero levels. But also, it feels like the human can oftentimes then overpower with all those tier 3 upgrades. Once he has Inner Fire, maybe even Polymorph, and he has this perfectly rounded army. To be fair, the DK and the Lich, that kind of strategy also does scale very well into the late game. It's the Crypt Lord who has serious trouble in the late game, in the super late game. So maybe here, Chaemiko felt that he couldn't go toe-to-toe with 1-0 playing the Expo with a DK. But I think he would have fared much better, I gotta say, with just a standard, well-rounded army. Against a lesser undead, you might just be left alone, you might do more damage in the harass in the meantime, and then at some point, maybe you're gonna have 80 supply, fully upgraded Griffins, and then you can just roll over whatever the opponent has. But of course, 1-0 is not gonna make that so easy for you. And there were a couple of mishaps in there as well. Of course, the Archmage loss in the early game. That really stung. That really took all the momentum out of Chaemiko's play, who had a bit of a lead at that point. A little unfortunate, but the good thing is, this is a long series. This is best of 5. And we're now going to go into map number 2. Which is Concealed Hill. We have a ghoul opening by 1-2-0 again. So he's once again going to try to either expand or go for heavy aggression. It's kind of risky though to play ghouls aggressively because the human can just decide to not expand. In fact, upon seeing ghouls, I think the human... upon seeing ghoul aggression, is what I should say. Upon seeing ghoul aggression, I think the human should always tech on one base instead. DK, ghouls, once again. And of course, Archmage. When the undead plays a Fiend build, one base versus one base clearly favors the undead because of how strongly Fiends transition into the late game. But with the ghoul build, it's a very different story. Those ghouls will fall off heavily towards the late game, even considering Frenzy. Especially when an MK with Clap gets involved. The human can feel oftentimes very happy playing one base, but yeah. We'll see if 1-0 plays aggressively. So this scout for Chaemiko is going to be important. He's going to see the ghoul build early, and he's going to have to assess what's the opponent going to do. Is he going to try to expand, or is he going to try to play aggressive? The good thing is, I think for both cases, Chaemiko is just fine playing one base. I think he should just creep up the Archmage, tech on one base, and be in position to attack a possible fast expo. If the Archmage is on top of you, it should be impossible for the DK Ghouls player to expand on this map. So this is a risky strategy by 1-0. 1-0 is hoping that Chaemiko will be expanding and that he's going to be able to do a lot of damage. And as I said, I think it would be a mistake for Chaemiko here to expand. I think he should just tech. Okay, I'm not sure where exactly the footy was. Did the footy just see the DK or did he see the ghoul build? Archmage with not the most thankful items over here. Cloak and ring. There's a fourth farm. There's a fourth farm by Chaemiko. He is gonna expand. Oof. And here come the ghouls. That is 6 ghouls with backpack, by the way, which means he can try to steal the item from the big boy overseer. Oh, Chaemiko. His strategic choices today, I feel like they are not the best. I gotta be honest. Unless he's teching right now.
A player's forces are under
If he's teching, everything's fine. But no. Here come the boys. 8 militia. So that's a lot of firepower to take out this creep camp. And I like the positioning here by Chaemiko. He's trying to force a fight, footies against ghouls, and creep safely with the militia in the meantime. By 1-0, I think he smells what's going on. He's even going for a dust to have reveal against the cloak. Oh, but... Oh, 1-0 walks past the creep camp. He didn't quite realize, I guess, that this was being crept. And Chaemiko gets away with murder here. If the ghouls were to go into the peasants right away, this could have been disastrous. But there's still a big window here for the ghouls to do damage against these peasants. Interesting. 1-0 being very cautious and patient here before engaging. This could easily be all peasants dying at the expo, by the way. They're all hurt already.
A player's forces are under attack.
And he might be able to get the Archmage surround. That was close. Alright. With so many ghouls, you can put like 1 ghoul each on a peasant. And it's going to be very hard for the human to micro properly. Chaemiko, though, is the king of early game mini micro moves. 1 peasant going down, but also a ghoul falls, and that's level 3 Archmage. That's a big deal. 2 peasants down, 3 peasants dead. New militia called in from the main. This is certainly expensive for Chaemiko, but he is Archmage level 3. He's going to be able to counterattack strongly after this if he wants. DK only now gets the level 2. With that, finally the aura. New Rod of Necromancy was brought in from a ghoul, I believe. And yeah, the expansion is delayed, but it is coming up. Power build continues, tower gonna finish, and I think Chaemiko is looking in a fine position here.
Player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, and I think 1-0 he let this creep happen too easily. This is something humans have learned to do really well, is bring in a ton of militia, creep this camp with like 8 militia and a water elemental, and then the Archmage and footies try to force a fight against the enemy units. But you can just ignore the Archmage and the footies. Nice surround here. It's gonna force a TP on the Archmage. Chaemiko knows that there's a dust against his cloak. It's a little scary right now. He would love to go to the fountain and heal there. Okay, I guess he's gonna be able to do just that. So, gonna be able to make very good use of the natural occurrence here, the fountain on this map. 1-0 looking for more kills. Arcane Tower draining pretty much all of his mana. And the question is, how's 1-0 going to follow this up now? If he plays it old school, he may want to go for a Destroyer Bust. Ghoul Harass into Destroyer Bust, that used to be the meta a long time ago. Like, when was that even? Like 10 years ago. Oh, DK gets stuck, gonna be forced to TP out. For him, the TP isn't usually that important. Because hero kill shouldn't really be a threat. Tier 3 is coming for 1-0, but not double slaughterhouse. Only single slaughterhouse so far.
A player's forces are
Priority for Chaemiko here should be to tower up. He knows he's got the late game edge. He's playing the expansion game, and the opponent isn't going fiends, he's going ghouls. Or he was going ghouls. And there it is. Second slaughterhouse. Alrighty. Super old school. Ghoul harass into destroyer push. Chaemiko, he would love to go for a counterattack right now. With a lot of ghouls, with maybe a heal scroll and water elementals, try to kill ghouls and try to maybe cancel the slaughterhouse. But since he lost the TP earlier, it's pretty scary to do. But he can rebuy it. Maybe he did. Slaughterhouse will be finishing. It's too late to cancel that one. And Chaemiko sees the writing on the wall. He knows what's coming. He needs to get ready with towers. Lots and lots of towers. And masonry upgrade. (1-0) still struggling with levels. No level 3 DK yet, which is important to have with playing destroyers.
a player's forces are under attack.
Tier 3 finished. Destroyer form will be starting now. Alright, 5 towers at the expo. 3 towers in the main only. That is not enough. Chaemiko needs more towers right now in the main base. 1-0 hasn't scouted the main yet though. He doesn't know which expansion is easier to hit. That's something he should definitely try to scout for. Oh, Chaemiko's going tier 3.
A player's forces are under
That also seems a bit risky. He could just go for a workshop right now and keep spamming towers. Because, yeah, it seems like it's going to be a big destroyer bust happening any moment. Good positioning, though, by Chaemiko. He's trying to buy time by threatening the counterattack. If 1-0 moves out on the map to go for the bust, he's going to hit the undead main. Problem is, this whole human army can be dealt with only one destroyer. Meat wagon. Wait, what?
a player's forces are
Alright, 1-0. Switching gears, going for a bit of a cheeky play. Obviously, he's selling the mass destroyers, and now he's going for meat wagons instead. Pretty cool. Now 1-0 finally creeping, finally gonna get level 3 DK. Some acolytes here might be going down, but the destroyer and the ghouls can clean this up over time. It's doing a bit more damage than I was expecting. And the first wagon is out. And now Chaemiko knows.
forces are under attack.
For a lot of you who have been following for a long time, this is how 1-0 was able to win the first couple of gold leagues against Infi back then. With a lot of meat wagons and a big fiend army, and then going for a slow siege against the human expansion. This is something that hasn't been meta at all for a long time. But of course, Disease Cloud is very strong also against peasants. And all of a sudden we got Lich level 3, 1-0 power creeping here very fast. Found the big mana potion, which is very good, and Helm of Valor, which is not so good. Chaemiko again going for the griffins, but this time it makes a lot of sense. Against ghouls and wagons, griffins are amazing. And there's no fiends this time to web and kill these griffins easily. 1-0's time is running out. Once we have 3 griffins, I think this game is over, honestly. These peasants are taking a ton of damage between the Orb of Corruption, the Disease Cloud, and the Nova. Ah, smart positioning by Chaemiko, I love this. He's looking for the meat wagon reinforcements. That is exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Very nice. And I think he caught one. The next Nova. It's gonna hurt. The peasants are suffering heavily. And I think one wagon was destroyed here by Chaemiko. This is so smart by Chaemiko. I absolutely love this. All the peasants are dead, though. At the expansion. DK level 4. Where are the griffins? 2 in production right now. Not queuing the 3rd one yet. Oh my god. Is he actually going to take out this expansion? If he takes out the expo, the game gets real weird. Because Chaemiko, in that case, he would only have 1 base income, but he's still got the better tech. He's still got griffins against ghouls and meat wagons. I think Chaemiko can afford to lose this expansion, honestly. With the griffins, he can also creep very well. 1-0 scouting with the destroyer. Oh, he's gonna lose that one to an ensnare. Oh, oh my god, almost. Okay, doesn't quite lose it. And Chaemiko decides to let the expansion go. 1-0 has double meat wagons, which are good for taking out triple meat wagons. Oh my god.
The town is under siege.
Yeah, these meat wagons are good for killing buildings, but in a straight up fight, they are gonna get absolutely annihilated by griffins. Around 50 supply griffins now for Chaemiko. He's creeping up. And yeah, with the griffin magic damage against heavy armor, you can creep quickly. Very quickly. Chaemiko over at the fountain. 1-0 has nothing against these griffins. Just absolutely nothing. The best thing he could do is, I guess, go into second crypt and go gargoyles, maybe. They're trying to steal experience right here. Hero levels are very important. If these human heroes are gonna get high level, things are gonna get problematic. And here we go. Griffin finds the wagons. And these wagons give a lot of experience as well, by the way.
Forces are under attack.
If Chaemiko gets Mountain King and Pally to level 3, I think he's going to be very satisfied with the state of this game. 1-0 obviously needs to go into some anti-air. He has 2 choices, Fiends or Gargs. Yeah, he unsummons one of the slaughterhouses, that makes sense.
A player's forces are under attack.
And it's Fiends. No Gargoyles. Fiends and Banshees. Those are very strong. Against Griffins in particular. But now that Chaemiko is pretty strong with his army, he's going for the expansion attempt once again. He's rebuilding it. And it should be finished in a moment. I think this is looking very good now for Chaemiko. Oh, he's in upkeep already. The expansion is about to finish.
Player's forces are under attack.
Scourge Bone Chimes, not the best find, I should say. Chaemiko's hero levels aren't quite there yet where you would like to have them. MK and Palace are only level 2. Oh, the ghouls. Find the vulnerable peasants at the expansion. Chaemiko can't TP there yet because the expansion isn't finished. 1-0 trying to do some more crucial economic damage. But he can't prevent the expo from coming up. One statue also going to fall. And that was MK level 3.
A player's forces are under attack.
One to 0 going into upkeep. Is he going to try to expand? That would be a possibility, but it would take a long time to finish. Chaemiko's been losing a lot of peasants this game. Still not that rich. Very low lumber as well. 3 fiends only. This could certainly be overpowered.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, the Griffin count is looking good. And the hero levels this time are speaking a very different story. 4-3-3 on Chaemiko. Very powerful.
siege.
And the base harass can also be super effective. The speed at which you can take out ghouls and also acolytes, absolutely tremendous with his Griffin army. He knows the TP on 1-0 is gone. Pops a scroll of the beast. Love it. Destroyer can dispel part of it. If he takes out the Haunted, that's game. And I think he should be able to. Heavy focus nuke on the Archmage, but he does survive. TP out. And that was a crucial strike by Chaemiko. And almost certainly the equalizer.
A player's forces are under attack.
71 supply for Chaemiko. WhatZero has one last chance with this push. I think he has to go for hero kill. DK level 5. Chaemiko doesn't have Divine Shield, by the way, so that's a bit of a danger on the Pally.
A town is under siege.
Even making use of the Wand of Illusion, that's a nice play as well. Could trigger some web on the wrong targets. Chaemiko doesn't want to engage yet. Alright. The fake griffins have been webbed. And WhatZero didn't quite realize it. Wasted one Nova on it. Militia coming in from the main. Ooh boy! The focus fire down from the griffins, quite impressive. There's a bit of anti-magic shell against it, but not enough. Not enough banshees. Not enough mana. And this might be the end right here. One heal scroll trying to mitigate the situation, but it's just too much from Chaemiko. We have Clap in the middle as well, very effective against these fiends. And that's gonna call for the GG. And the equalizer. Chaemiko tying up the series. Nicely done. 1-0. For the second game in a row, playing the ghoul opening. And I think he kind of messed up this early game, I gotta say. During nighttime, when Chaemiko is creeping this expansion, if he just ignores the footies and goes to the peasants right away and attacks like 4 peasants at the same time or something, that's when Chaemiko could be struggling. That's when Chaemiko still is far away from level 3 on the Archmage. And when a lot of damage could be occurring. It's still a risky strat though, because at some point the Human Expo should be finishing, depending on how much damage he takes. And yeah, the destroyers, always a bit dangerous to go for. The wagons, a cool idea. A bit of a fake out. He was telegraphing that he was going destroyers and then switches into wagons. But as we saw, that opens the door super wide for Griffin play. When you're playing ghouls and wagons, Griffins are crazy effective. He tried to tech switch into fiends in the late game, but by then it was too late. Too many Griffins. Too much experience in the human heroes. And Chaemiko ties it up. 2 non-standard games so far between our players here. Let's see what we get on map number 3, Northern Isles. And now 1-0 is going back to standard. It's going to be a Ted Fiend opening. No early ghoul build. Against Chaemiko also with a standard build. Going to be Archmage. Crypt Lord, not really part of the meta anymore. He's been figured out and just simply not that strong anymore after the nerfs. I wouldn't be too surprised if perhaps we see a Dreadlord on one game. If 1-0 takes the lead again. Maybe he's gonna go crazy with a Dreadlord, but not very likely. Dreadlord also not the best hero, as we know. WhatZero has been studying a lot of Happy games recently, has fashioned quite a bit of his play after the Russian Undead player. Although, he played his own style, map 1 and 2. Happy never really plays ghoul openings. He always plays the Ted Fiend build. But let me tell you, I've cast a lot of Happy games, I've seen a lot of Happy streams, and this is exactly the way Happy builds his base. And we've seen that before also by 120 with the newly implemented far forward narrow tower against Night Elf specifically. So the game plan here is supposed to be fast expansion from the human. And the undead harassing it, trying to do as much damage as possible. Possibly also creeping level 2 first before harassing, which would lead to the DK arriving after the camp has been crept. But when the peasants are constructing the town hall, that's normally when they are the most vulnerable and can be picked off quickly. Thank you, Leithaka, with the 11-month resub.
Are under attack.
120, not creeping the claws camp first. It's going for the green murloc, which is very unusual. Is that a surround? No, not quite. Footy's gonna get out. Chaemiko doing a good job scouting. Question is, when's he gonna go for the expansion? There's different creep routes as human you can go for as this, on this map. You can be pretty greedy with 1 green into expansion. Or you can play it very slow with Tuskar, green into expo. Here it's a little bit middle of the road, it seems. Chaemiko gonna creep level 2 first. Maybe another green. And then go for the expansion, probably. Good scout also by 120. Deny on the Acolyte. Every bit of experience matters right here. 120 using a lot of Dark Necromancy already. So, kind of needs Backpack to bring in New Rod. Not sure if he has it. And here come the boys. Chaemiko doing it similarly to Concealed Hill again. He's trying to push the DK away with the Archmage and Footies, and the Water Elemental and Peasants are supposed to creep solo. What is it? This time, is he gonna figure it out? Yes, he is. Skellies are there to scout. They can wake up the creeps. DK got very good items. +5 intelligence. He bought the circlet. But he's low HP already. Where's the Fiend, I wonder? The Fiend seems to be very late. I think he forgot about it for a little while. Gets the last hit there, and he needed that one badly. With that, now at level 2 for the DK. And he doesn't have Backpack. He doesn't have New Rod of Necromancy. And I'm not sure that this was the best creep route for 120. I think it's better to just creep green and then harass. Even if you're too late to harass the creeping of the expansion, you can still come in to kill the peasants after. And if you do, you're also pretty healthy. The aura has been running for some time. But he got level 2 anyways, that's the most important thing. And now Chaemiko needs to get his own level 3. Defending against Fiends, against the incoming Lich with only level 2 Archmage is not sufficient. You need that level 3. And maybe that was the reason why 120 wanted to play this so aggressively. If he kills more creeps at the expansion, and if he can prevent level 3 Archmage, then things are gonna get really difficult for Chaemiko in the mid-game. Oh, look at that scout with a footy. He was over to the little back alley, looking for the next Fiend attack. When he sees it coming, he cancels some healing. Chaemiko really showing up here on map 2 and 3. I like it.
A player's forces are under attack.
Expansion now finished. Tower should be coming up as well. This early game, before the human has the Mountain King out, is all about movement. All about positioning on the footies. You need to be in the right spot at the right time, and you need to know when to engage and when not to. Especially when the Lich comes out, you probably have to play a little bit more carefully. One Fiend there, almost getting surrounded. Still Chaemiko trying to go for it, but not quite able to get that encirclement. But not too many peasants died this game. It was like maybe 4. It's fine for Chaemiko. His tech has started already. In the main base, 120 sees what's going on. He's got the scout up. But the Lich is now joining, and he's going to be able to put on a bit more pressure. And again, movement. positioning. Look where the footmen are. He's not just, you know, brain deadly. That's not really an adverb, but whatever. Following the undead around. He wants to be able to do proactive here as well, harassing with footies in the main base and defending with the Archmage at the same time. That's interesting. Oh, this arcane tower, whether it stands or falls, is going to be a big deal, and it shall fall. Footies do have defense, so the tower is not able to deal with them too easily. It's going to be up to the ghouls here to defend. DK TPing home, and the Archmage staffing in. The DK might be falling. Oh my goodness. Has to go for a heal potion now, and it's very expensive for 1-0 here to hold on. Lots of acolytes going down, lots of mining time, especially being lost. This is a great attack for Chaemiko. Behind this, Chaemiko's tech is running and running and running. And 1-0 is not on his way to tier 3 at all. And the problem here for 1-0 was he lost so much HP harassing the first time that he had to fall back and creep up and couldn't keep up the pressure. Ideally, you always want to be high HP and always be on the human side of the map and never leave. So that way the human doesn't have the space to run across the map and harass you. This early game for 1-0 really wasn't the best, starting with the creep route. That didn't seem to be the strongest. And also, wasn't able to get that many peasant kills. DK not quite level 3 yet, but I think he should be pretty close. Chaemiko is certainly not out of the woods, however. His MK is going to come out in a moment. The tier 3 is going to be finishing soon, so it's looking good for him. But you always still have to respect the undead tier 3. The undead will get tier 3 with orb and triple hero and destroyers, and he will be strong at that point, and you have to get ready for it. You cannot get complacent here as the human. Tier 3 starting now. Lumber for Chaemiko is looking a bit rough, so he can't go tier 3 himself right away, along with Mountain King. One ghoul. No, two ghouls even were in the mix here. Oh, both are getting saved on low HP. Nicely done by 1-0. Right, if Chaemiko here is slowed down immensely in his tier 3, then things are going to be looking a little bit worse for him. You really want to have that tier 3 fast to go for Knights and Paladin quickly. Ideally, double barracks with Knights. And he's still not teching. Maybe he forgot to make some peasants on the expansion for some time. The 1-0's tier 3 is also far from finishing, so it's not the end of the world. And the footies are again looking for a counterattack. That's pretty bold, with the undead being right outside the expansion. Because, yeah, that's not so easy to deal with these fiends and everything. But here we go. Footies reaching the main again. And there's no TP on 1-0. He can't get back to the main. It's going to be all up to the ghouls. Oh, and the Archmage is staffing in again. And again. Chaemiko knows where he has to be with the footman, at what time, what he can do. He's being proactive. He's not just sitting back, mindlessly trying to defend. And yeah, the expansion for Chaemiko is taking some damage, but he's doing way more damage in return, I think. Killing some ghouls, killing some acolytes during the tech. This is very expensive. Very, very expensive 1-0. Some fiends trying to defend. MK shows up the expansion and the Lich goes down. 1-0 lost the overview there for a moment. With the Lich falling, a lot of firepower missing now at the expansion. DK full mana, though I guess he can stick around here. But in the meantime, the Haunted Goldmine has fallen. And that is a complete disaster for 1-0. Oh, he blocks in the DK. The Archmage shows up. He's got the heal potion as well. And that is going to lead to the GG. 1-0 taps out. Chaemiko takes the lead in a really nice game by the human. I like the creep route. Double green into expansion. It was pretty clean. 1-0's harass really didn't do that much. If a DK level 1 solo harasses, it's not that scary. You can just put the Archmage on him, keep chipping in damage, and yeah, 1-0. I think a lot of that game came down to his creep route. I think it was just not the right one. Going for the little Murloc camp into harass. You just level 2 too late. You just lose too much HP. And it's so crucial in the early game. When you harass the peasants, of course you want to try to take out as many as possible. But after that, you want to keep on being aggressive. Keep staying on his side of the map so that the counterattack can't hit you too easily. There's also a few more tricks you can go for on the very highest level. Happy, for example, nowadays almost entirely walls off his haunted gold mine so that the footies can't get in. And the few holes that there are, Happy blocks with the ghouls, for example, or other things. So the footies, again, can't get into the back, can't start harassing the acolytes, can't be used to staff onto with the archmage. And it's very hard to do all these things perfectly. But Happy, has shown the way in the past. And 1-0 lacking in a bit of execution here today. So far, not a perfect game by either player, both showing some mistakes here and there. And that was 1-0's map choice, by the way. Going for Northern Isles was his pick. Now we'll see what will be the next one after. So remaining we have Autumn Leaves, Echo Isles, LR, and AZ. I wonder what they vetoed. In my opinion, LR is the worst map for undeads nowadays. Not everyone agrees with that. Echo Isles can be tough as well, but there is definitely the possibility of playing DK Fast Expo on Echo. So it's probably Echo or LR vetoed by 1-0, I would imagine. And Chaemiko, what may he have vetoed? I'm not sure how Autumn Leaves works out. I feel like Autumn Leaves can be pretty tough for human. It almost feels guaranteed that you're going to lose a big last hit at the expansion creep. And after that, reaching level 3 can be pretty tough. I wouldn't be too surprised if Chaemiko vetoed AL. But I think in the past he did play it. Well, for map number 4, I mean. We are going to Echo Isles indeed. And earlier I was talking about the Crypt Lord. If there's a map where the Crypt Lord is still pretty good, it is this one, I would say. But 1-0 is not playing Crypt Lord. He's playing DK Ted Fiends. Which surprises me greatly. This is not a good map for playing DK Ted Fiends standard against human. Because of how far away the expansion is from the undead main base, harassing it is pretty difficult. Also, the DK doesn't have the best creep route early on this map. In general, it's a very easy expansion to creep for Chaemiko and easy to defend normally. So I would have expected 1-0 playing here a ghoul expansion, either with DK first or maybe with something else. 1-0 checking out the Merc camp. Back in the Crypt Lord meta, humans would creep the Merc camp first, but nowadays humans know nobody plays Crypt Lord anymore. It looks rather weak. Oh, wait a minute. Sacrificial Skull early on the DK. Perhaps he is going to expand with a Ted Fiend build? That would be very unusual, because normally you need a lot of ghouls to make these expansions work. And you can't really do that if you're going Graveyard, because the Graveyard's so expensive. Indeed, very unusual build. Chaemiko, once again, sees this right away. But he's just going to expand himself, I'm pretty sure. Gonna get level 2 Archmage quickly with the Militia. Here he has a big creep speed advantage early game. And the Claws of Attack also a very good find for him. Here come the boys. 6 Militia to be safe.
A player's forces are under attack.
And 1-0 is going Ted Fiend build into more ghouls. Very unusual. Very, very unusual. Does he even have enough lumber here to expand? Oh, yeah, he does. Okay. Alrighty. DK gets level 2, and now 1-0 is trying to create space by harassing with the Death Knight to expand at the same time. Goes for a circlet.
A player's forces are under attack.
That narrow tower isn't placed ideally, I would say. The Ziggurat or narrow could certainly be ignored later on. Oh, DK, did he get the last hit? I believe he did. On the Nightcrawler. That's a big deal. One peasant gonna go down. Again, we'll keep count. The number of peasants that fall here are important. Perfect militia timing by Chaemiko, though. Has 2 militia coming in from the main already. They can help right now with fighting, and they can replace the dead peasants right away. This is nicely, nicely done. Archmage now very close to level 3, but the creep camp there isn't quite enough. Dude, this one lasted with the coil. Actually making a big difference. Well, Ghoul's coming in again for harass, but this is just to buy time. This is the experience that the Archmage needs. This Ghoul would be level 3, I think. Along with the creeps that are there. And that's why 1-0 is trying to deny it to the creeps. Archmage looking for the juicy experience. Oh, does he get it? Hiding in the last little corner. Oh, but he will get it. Takes out the Ghoul, and that means he's going to get level 3 in a moment. Alright, he may not have needed the Ghoul anyways. It might have been enough without. The nice thing with the early graveyard here is 1-0 can go into Tower and Fiends right away. And I think he's upgrading a Tower already at the expansion. No tech yet, but Chaemiko should certainly start his tier 2 here momentarily. With 2 towers up, though, these footies are going to have a tough time. There is no defend finished yet. Spirit Tower timing is working out perfectly. Losing Acolytes would hurt a lot. There's no Necropolis to remake them. So it's only the DK defending for now. We'd love to get some more last hits here to get that level 3. Oh, 1 Acolyte. 1-0 plays it safe, uses the coil, saves it. Good defense here by 1-0. The crucial part in defending this so easily is that Spirit Tower. 2 Ghouls brought in for good measure, didn't even need them. And I imagine now both should be on the way to tier 2. That would certainly be the right call. So, what are we going to see now? 1-0 is certainly going to go Fiends once again. I hope Chaemiko doesn't go Griffins this time again. I would much prefer to see that well-rounded standard army. Breakers, Priests, Sorks, Knights, Gyros. Sorks not necessarily, but if you have air superiority, they can be a good idea. DK this time around, unlike on Tidehunters, but struggling a bit with the levels. Still not level 3, although he is close. I like the early upgrades on the Fiends. No matter what he's facing in the late game, having 2 or 3 attack upgrades on the Fiends is going to be very good. Whether it be Knights, Breakers, or Griffins. Oh, trying for the surround, almost had it. And Chaemiko's gonna have to make a choice soon on tier 2. What's he gonna go for? Thank you very much, N. Williams, for gifting a sub to Qbert. Chaemiko again, trying to buy some space. Oh, and he gets the surround on the... Oh, that was close. Almost got the surround right there. Chaemiko again, harassing heavily. This is looking reminiscent now of Tidehunters. Doesn't quite get these surrounds
A player's
yet.
forces are under attack.
Ghouls defending at the expo. Chaemiko would once again love to be delaying tier 3, but tier 3 has already started for 1-2-0. The defense footies are holding on pretty nicely against these fiends. But once the Lich arrives, that is going to change. The Lich is coming, so is the Slaughterhouse. 1-2-0 going for the standard army. The best, most well-rounded army. And in a moment we're going to find out what Chaemiko's going for. He played Griffins twice. Oh my god, he's playing Griffins again. He's playing Griffins again, boys! Ooh. I gotta be honest, I don't think that's the best play. But maybe he can make it work this time. The problem with this map especially is there's not many creeps to go around, and when you play Griffins, it feels like you really need high-level heroes. Alright, he's gonna get one Fiend here for his troubles. That's pretty good. Might be able to get the next one. Stormbolt flies. Trading out these footies right here for Fiends is excellent for Chaemiko. Footies are gonna be largely useless in the late game anyways, whereas the Fiends are certainly gonna be needed. MK now out of mana though, that's gonna make finding kills more difficult. Oh, but with a nice block. Ooh, almost getting it. Statue arrives. That's a big help. Oh, stops moving with a Fiend for a second. Slight micro mistake by 1-0. He lost 3 Fiends right there. He might lose another one. MK almost has the next Stormbolt ready. This is a very good exchange for Chaemiko right here. Being quite late there with that coil. Nova focusing on the MK. TP transfer. He will survive. But now Chaemiko super low HP, super low mana. That means the marketplace should go to 1-0. And after that also the merchant creep should go to 1-0. He's gonna pick up the orb. Oh, he's stuck. But he can chop his way out of there when he takes out some trees. Oh, doesn't even creep the rest of this camp, interestingly. What is there even going for Frenzy? Not sure how many ghouls he has. I don't think it's that many. Oh, taking out a statue here would be huge, and I think he's gonna get it as well. 1-0 is not providing the aura right here. Only now. There's a few moves here and there where 1-0 could definitely min-max it a bit more. Naga! That looks like he has the wrong read. Naga is normally what you want to play against Knights, to have more slow. Against Griffins, you don't really need slow, they're webbed anyways. And this Naga could absolutely quickly die. Normally the best hero you can play against Griffins is Pit Lord for Howl of Terror. Best third hero, that is. The Lich quite eager here, a bit too far forward. Oh my god. He might be going down. Trying to transfer the Invul Potion, gets it last second. 1-0. Playing this a bit sloppily here. Trying to steal experience away. That did work. One statue goes down. So, Chaemiko has 2 large camps you can creep here. That's the Merc and the Gargantuan camp in the bottom right. It's not gonna be enough for level 3 across the board, though. This Naga choice may come back to haunt 1-0. Maybe he scoured the Griffins too late. I'm very sure that the Pit Lord would have worked better here. But Chaemiko's got a big army. He's got 80 supply already. Wow, that was pretty quick. It's just mass Griffins. Highly upgraded. If you have really high upgraded Griffins and high hero levels, you can sometimes chew through the Fiend Banshee army. And 1-0, I think he's got the wrong read. 1-0 again feels like he's in the lead, but he's not. And look at that Naga. Yeah, she just disappears. Oh, the MK also in trouble though. Holy Light last second. Oh my god, just saves it barely in time. And 1-0 is losing his whole army. Trying again with the hero kill, but the MK survives once more. Heal potion is there when he needs it. And there's no Banshees. On Tidehunters, he had the right read when he was going for an early attack, and he thought he... yeah, was the player with the lead and was able to strike before the Griffin army was there. The full big Griffin army was there. But this game, 1-0, just not with the right game sense. Naga was the wrong choice. No Banshees was the wrong choice. He finally gets the MK, but he took so much damage in the meantime. 1-0 has to fall back into his towers and hold on until he has more Fiends again, and finally Banshees. I don't know if they're on the way. But the firepower here from Chaemiko is quite tremendous. And a lot of this game comes down to this tier 2 early fight where Chaemiko was able to kill 3 Fiends. That was so huge. Chaemiko now picking up the next Invul potion. Third attack upgrade for the Griffins. Ooh, baby. We see destroyers on 1-2-0. They're of course magic immune, can't be targeted by the Griffins, but they also do hardly any damage if they don't have mana. Naga gets level 2, but this Naga has been a horrible investment this game. It's just not a good hero versus Griffins, and the Pally gets level 3. And now Chaemiko is fully online. 4-3-3 heroes, 80 supply Griffins with high upgrades. And this looking a lot like Chaemiko in the grand final. And no temple. That's so weird by 1-2-0. I feel like once you're tier 2, you should immediately go to the temple when you're teching. No matter what you're facing on tier 3, Banshees are really good against it. And now Chaemiko is gladly going to take this fight. Look at that damage. The Naga almost getting one shot, so are the Fiends. Stormbolt, focus fire, bye-bye Naga. This is the saddest Naga I have seen this year. It's just too much damage. The human death ball has come online. 1-0 is not ready against it. And 1-0 calls for the GG. And that's Chaemiko in the grand final.